I have it here, it's a matter of knocking it down a bit. Hello everybody, welcome back to Sweden and to my workshop. I made a pair of tripods for the campfire the other day, and I got a request for somebody who asked me to make a how-to video on this and just my thought process. So I thought I'll give it a try to do an how-to video. Will be one of my first. Done like one before, but that was something much more simpler. So I hope you like this, and let's start at the drawing board first and just get our thoughts organized. Alright, so what we first got to do is just work out what it is the thing we are making supposed to be used for. Campfire, right? Campfire. It's built something like this. You have your woods here, and you have the flames going up. So a tripod, it sits over and above. 3 legs like that. And what you want to do with it is maybe you want to hang something from there. A kettle is probably the most simple one. So that means you need to have something to hang it from, a ring of some sorts. So that's all fair and good. Simple, easy sketch. These legs though, the tries, you put them together like this, form a little ring up here, and you put all 3 next to each other like this, and then you put a bigger ring into. So what I do is I put a little bigger ring that I can hang stuff from, and then I put a little locking ring that's a bit smaller and a bit tighter, and I can use that for 2 things, this smaller locking ring. I can use it for first to lock the legs, of course, so they are more stable. That's prior 1. But 2, I can also hang stuff from it. I can hang a kettle or something that needs to be higher up, or if I bust one kettle and get a new one with a bigger handle, I can hang that from there. Okay? So what we need to forge is 3 legs. They're like these, with a loop or a ring up here. They can be, you can make them however you want to, straight. I like mine to be a bit offset, so they go out like this a bit. Very nice drawings here, like that. We need to forge a locking ring, and we need to forge a bigger ring that we hang stuff from. Okay? So then, when this is done, you need to think about your materials. For me, I'm going to use reclaimed material. I'm going to use these, which are dump rake tines that you use to pull behind a horse. And these are very old. They are from the 18th century. So, what these have been through is they've been working the land. They've been drawn behind a horse, and they've been plowing land like this, or cutting land. That means it probably has a lot of stress fractures. So what I need to do first is normalize these for a couple of cycles. And I've already done that, so I won't be using this one exactly. But you need to normalize it, and just to take away stress from the material and sort of make the molecules in the material even. Yeah? So that's, if you have reclaimed material, you need to do that. If you have material that you bought from a store, something like this, you don't need to, because this is already most likely normalized. So it's sort of from scratch. So now we've thought of how it should look, what we need for the moving parts, what 3 parts we need to make, and what material we're going to use. So the next thing just to do is start up the forge and take it from there. Righto, so this is the piece we're going to start with. And do you see here that the tine that we used to go in the ground has a certain shape. I kind of like that, so we're going to leave that shape and we are going to work this end for the circle, the loop that the ring is going to go through. Alright? What I'm doing here is drawing out the material so I get more length to make the loop. I am going to try to make the loop and maybe do a little run around in the bottom end and see how that goes. Maybe it'll look nice. Right, so what's happening now is I've got the length I want. Now I'm taking down the edges. Just to take them down, and I'm going to start rounding it off again. This was round from the start, but now to draw it out, I put it into square and then started working it out with half on, half off blows. And that means the half of the hammer on the surf and the half off. And this to get the mass moving. And I did this because I find it easier just to square it up. And also I know some of you guys back at home, you only have square stock. So instead of you have to making it round, you can see how you can work from square stock. I could have just used this and just bent it over, but I want to draw it out a bit, get more mass to work with. Use my rounding hammer. I like just having a more concentrated edge. If you're not happy, just go over again. There's no rush. Okay, so now all three are done. Almost the same length. One is a bit shorter, doesn't matter. We will cut them up so they will even out. But first, see, they're not perfectly straight, so we got to straighten it a bit. So when you straighten stuff, use your anvil. It has a straight surface. Just roll it like this. Should be good. Right, so now we've got all three here, cut to length, and we are going to start working on the loops on the top. I actually used a cutting tool here just because they were kind of long and unwieldy, so it was easier just this way. But that's okay, you use what you got. So now we're going to do a ring, and then after that we are going to do the larger ring that threads all the pieces together. And for that I'm going to use a piece of rebar, so that looks pretty good when it's all together. So, we've got three pieces about the same size. Now it's time to fit them up through a ring. Now I'm wondering, because they are much smaller than I used before, if we even have to use a locking ring. First, let's make the ring out of rebar. Start with a little bend here. When you have that bend, you can sort of work from there. Go to the thicker, so it will be quite a big ring, so go to the thicker parts. Now you just have to line them up. Yeah? So we started on one end, let's continue on the other. I really like rebar. Some people are opposed to it, think it's not befitting. I like it. I started working on rebar. I love the feel of it. Don't worry about getting it too tight now in the beginning. That will come later on. So we've got two straight edges here, we need to work them over, like so, like so. So now it's really tight, you see, right? Doesn't matter, because you can work in here. Work it, it will sort of go, the kinks will go out and it will separate a bit. And we need that separation later on when we're going to thread the rings. See? Getting up here. Yeah. Almost there. Okay, so what we're going to do now is put it in the heater, heat it up and then thread it. One, two, three little piggies, and then when it's threaded, we're going to close the gap. Okay, simple as that. Okay, here's a little trick you can use. Make sure the ends are not hot. You can hang it over there, and then you've got pretty good. You want to work the ring a little bit. Okay. Let's try this one out. But we need that little locking ring. So, here comes those. Now we're going to try to thread it through. Right, so when I have it here, it's a matter of knocking it down a bit. Whoops, camera. Now you can just let your hands just hold in the end. There we are. Twist it a bit. Still want it to be roundish. Something like that. Okay. So, we are done with forging this tripod for a campfire. And very cool construction this. You just have these 3 legs, fold them out like these, like this. Or if you want a bigger fire, if you have a bigger fire like that. Have a locking ring here that you can hang stuff on, a bigger ring they can use as a handle and also hang stuff on. If you had little S-hooks, you can put them there, you know, dry your socks or something like that. Or if you have more S-hooks, I recommend buying these small ones or making small ones like these. You can just tail them like this and hang whatever you want closer to the fire. This is a really cool and good construction, and it's quite light. It's all metal, but it doesn't weigh much. It weighs about a kilo. So it's not heavy to carry around, and you just put it in your backpack. Carry it like this if you want. So, I hope you found this video beneficial to you, this how-to video on how to make a tripod. And I hope that you make one yourselves in the near future. And to Peter, who requested this video, I hope you are happy with this. And thank you for the request as well. It was really fun. So, that's it for this video. I hope you all have a really nice day and that you all stay creative, wherever you are.